welcome back to Xenoverse 2. Last time we finished up all the Battle of Gods parallel quests, the story stuff, all that's done. So we're moving on to the next one, which is... Boy, it's a thing. That was quite a situation we had recently. I'm glad you made it out unscathed. Do you want to go on a time patrol? Thank you very much. Time for the time vault. Where do I begin on Resurrection F? It's a movie. It does have Dragon Ball characters in it.
That's weird. There's a
And
change
it's
starting to
really,
take place in this scroll.
really bad.
I wonder if what they're really after is the energy generated by
this
change in history.
As upsetting as it is to say, despite how
So I'll be there.
horrible it is,
First,
it's
we
not
need you
the
to go
worst.
there, investigate the cause and try to
There's
fix
something
it.
I think is worse. We haven't gotten to it yet.
So, what
It won't
do
be
you
for a
think they plan
good
to do
while,
with
like,
all
after the
that
main
energy
story.
they've been gathering?
Because when this game came out, this was the last thing in Dragon Ball, so the main story goes up to this point, and then it kind of veers off into its own thing. That's more or less just wrapping stuff up. So we're getting close to the end of the story. We're actually about 3 sets of story missions from the end.
It's the home of Toa
3 or
and
4, somewhere around there.
That's pretty much all
And
I know about.
there's
Well,
these
that doesn't
last
surprise
set
me.
of parallel quests
There
before
are
the
more
last,
that know
if we get like the after story
It's
ones,
all the
more or
way on
less.
the opposite side of the universe,
And
after all.
they're pretty long, actually. I think they're some of the longer
Toa's
ones.
intentions can't be good. She might
'Cause
be
once you get
trying
to- once you get
destroy the
past
barrier
Resurrection
between
F,
our world and hers.
Most of the parallel quests tend to become
If she
just
succeeds in
enemy
that,
rushes,
Who knows what might happen?
which admittedly I think those are the best ones, just because you just
Half of
fight.
the universe becoming pure.
The ones where you just fight without any gimmicks
You
are
can't
the best
expect
ones.
Anything good, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm trying so hard to not talk about
And we
Resurrection
won't let
F.
them do it. We have to stop them, no matter what it takes.
I feel like it's been a long enough time. It's been a couple of years.
Wish we had more.
I feel like I can talk openly with
Only
Resurrection
my
F.
partner
If
could.
anybody actually cared, they would have already seen the movie. They would have already played the game.
It's
They
been
know
quite
the
a
story of
while.
Resurrection F at this point.
It's worrisome.
It is garbage.
Well, you know, we're all after
So
Mira, so we're bound to meet up
It's
sooner
it's
or
Frieza
later.
coming back to life, training for 6 months,
We found another scroll.
and going
The
from
one that was changed this
his
time
first form
contains
is
the resurrected
stronger
Frieza.
than Ultimate Gohan at the least.
Frieza again.
We don't even get a clear idea of how strong he actually is in his
No
first form.
joke.
Aware of that. But we
The
fought
fact he
before,
can
and I won
eclipse
that battle, if you remember.
everyone in that short amount of time is insane.
Foolish child.
It is
Never underestimate
utterly
an opponent.
ridiculous. I feel like that goes without saying.
If you
And this
think
is
for
the
one
start
second a single
of what I
swing of
call
a blade
the
will win
godly
this time,
decline.
you'll be sorry.
And that God Key is just terrible. It doesn't seem to actually do anything.
Frieza is a
With
born
how they hype
warrior.
it up in Battle of
He's
Gods,
never trained
it makes
a
you
day
think
in
it's
his
going to be
life.
this huge thing that has its own unique properties. From what I can tell,
If he suddenly felt the
all it
urge to
is
improve
a
himself,
little hard to
his
read.
power would be
But then after a
unimaginable.
while, everyone can just read it anyways. So it really doesn't seem to
In this altered
actually
history,
do anything
Frieza's
different.
training and strength are far greater than before.
That's my biggest gripe
Put it
with God
bluntly,
Key is that
He's on an
it
entirely
doesn't
new level.
actually
So
do
make sure
anything.
you're ready for that.
And they keep fighting people who don't have God Key and are
Is he really that
way
much
better
stronger?
than them.
I'm afraid so. Do your best.
Also, I
out
feel like this
there.
goes without saying for Resurrection F. Super Saiyan Blue getting taken out by a gun. Laser gun, mind you, but a gun. Because he, and I'm going to put the biggest amount of air quotes on this as possible, dropped his guard, which is something they're going to use a lot in Super, is the dumbest thing when the very first scene in the entire franchise is Goku as a child, without paying attention, shot in the head with a gun, and it doesn't do anything but mildly annoy him. Also, we gotta beat up 15 generic soldiers, because we're doing that part of the movie. Now, as positive, in this game, they cut out the gun entirely. Because I feel like everyone on the planet noticed how dumb that was. Save for the people who made the movie.
I suppose
We're in...
I'll amuse myself.
I'm sorry, we're in Negative Town because... Look at this. Look at what... Look at the part of the story we're in. There's not much positives.
You're now a temporary.
Before this recording started, I actually sat for a good 5 minutes and just went, what do I talk about that isn't negative? You kind of get everybody punching the generic, like, goobers, these guys. It's neat to see Roshi do stuff. That's about it. It doesn't accomplish anything. You could have it out of the movie and nothing would actually change, but it's kind of neat to see them do stuff. And then Tien does one tri-beam, and that's about his entire contribution to all of Super. Yeah, just after this is when they start to be, you know who we hate? That guy. And I don't know why. The Reddit absolutely despise Tien. I'm convinced of that. You can't convince me otherwise. Boy, he gets so bad. Just constantly. Him and Boo both get it atrociously. Boo at least gets a fight. He's constantly written out the story in really dumb ways that they reuse twice. You know what? Where'd you go? Where are you? You know what? I only get to kill 2 more of these guys. Killing those 2. You 2 specifically are the ones who are going down. Alright, where's the other one? Where's Monray? What was the Monray? No, it was that one. It was Orlin. Come here. You specifically. You spite me, and therefore... There. Alright, This Super Saiyan Blue and Resurrection F. We're going back to this topic. Ow.
I was aware the freezer
Not bad.
had been slipping, but this is disturbing. I do believe you'll provide some amusement.
They do the kill Piccolo thing. I don't know, talk about Super Saiyan Blue, sorry. Getting off topic. I'm getting off topic in this thing where I can't stay on topic. We're entering cutscene territory. We haven't been there in a while. We're just stand here and stare at him. Alright, Super Saiyan Blue.
Do we all rush him?
Leave me out of this one.
Really ineffective.
Goku is ready for
Blue just loses.
Huh?
I actually can't. I think
They have to do this every time.
I don't think Blue ever wins, save for Broly.
You're wrong.
I would say Copy Vegeta, but Copy Vegeta was also technically a Super Saiyan Blue. So Blue can only beat up itself. And for Broly, they have to fuse just to do it. And even then, I don't think they needed it. I feel like Blue was just kind of excess at that point. Blue just... It also doesn't help that it just looks lame because it's just Super Saiyan, but blue. It's definitely one of the lazier looking transformations. Zora's not in? Oh, there it goes. That was weird. I thought the aura wasn't showing up for a minute there. I got a little nervous. Also, you got to see the golden aura for about 2 seconds. But now we're also blue.
So, you're here at last.
And I'm here too. Haven't had one of those in a while. Oh, it's already over. Hold on. Hold on, we're getting there. There he is.
You noticed me? This planet's Dragon Balls can grant 2 wishes. So, guess who's back? It's Tula!
I was gonna talk there. I didn't see the subtitles. That was weird. I think I might have forgot to turn them back on. I turned them off to take a thumbnail shot a while ago. Hang on a second. riveting gameplay. Yep, my bad.
Who is that?
That was my bad. I was taking a thumbnail shot for the Kid Buu one, and I forgot to turn them. Let's turn them back on. Let's punch you. I like Cooler way more. I was kind of hoping the revamp would replace Metacooler in this with Golden Cooler, but it's fine. That's really hard to do, so I can't blame them. Also, we talked about how Cooler said he was resurrected with the Dragon Balls, and he got resurrected as a robot, not as regular Cooler.
But even the two.
I do find that. I know why, because this is technically the strongest form of Cooler as of this game coming out. So we wanted to use that. But hey, it's just a little weird. I appreciate how they only really jump in when I'm attacking. When I'm getting hit, they just kind of stand there. Also, Beerus and Whis are here. Do they do anything? Basically, no. So, we're continuing that trend of Beerus and Whis just kind of standing in the corner and taking up screen time for really no reason. And then we get to... Sorry, I'm trying not to be negative, but it's so hard. It's so hard with this part. We're getting to that moment. The moment where I almost gave up. 2 movies into the revival of Dragon Ball, and I was already ready to give up.
Yes, for all of you. Over here, quickly.
The gun made me furious. This just made me go, okay, come on. Also, probably the most forced way in the game story to have a time change. I said that also with air quotes, even though you can't physically see me doing that. We'll get to that.
Phew. That was a close one. We almost
Also,
suffered the same
this is
horrible
a
fate as the
line that's
planet.
very confusing. If you finish the fight, if you get to the cooler part of the fight, even sort of fast, which it doesn't take long. I'm gonna let the scene play out, and then I'll explain to you what actually happened. This isn't a lost in translation thing either. It's just a really weird way of doing it.
Oh dear. Was Earth destroyed?
God, that head twitch is still bothering me.
Since he can survive in the vacuum of space.
Even though we didn't see him at all in any versions of Resurrection F after the Earth was destroyed, I always assumed he died. He just killed himself with it. But he was pretty battered, and in that same situation, he did survive the Namek explosion, but was pretty confident he couldn't. And even then, he would have died had he not been picked up by his dad.
I see. He can be a quick thinker, too.
It's not really quick thinking. He did the exact same thing in the Frieza saga, which is another reason why this bothers me so much.
Who cares about any of that? What happened to my cream puffs? I'm not going home on an empty stomach.
So notice how we never mentioned any cream puffs? We'll get to that.
Oh, come on! It's not like this is my fault. A woman named Toa is responsible for calling you here.
Okay, so do you remember at the start of I'm just gonna explain it here. At the start of the fight when Trunks' communication was cutting out and he was like, oh, there's some interference. In the second half of the fight, after Cooler jumps in, Supreme Kai of Time calls and says she has something for Beerus if he comes and helps, because Toa is attacking the Time Nest. That you finish that fight so fast because they're really not that durable. You could very easily miss that part, despite it being the entire reason this scene happens. It's done so awkwardly. It's one of the few times where cutscene invincibility would actually be kind of warranted, despite how obnoxious it is, and they don't do it.
Toa hacked into the Time Nest communication system to call you out here, Lord Beerus.
I don't know why. They make some weird decisions, because there are some missions where in the cutscene invincibility, you're also invincible. And that's in the base game. It's not a thing that was added into some of the DLC story missions. But for some reason they didn't do it for all of them, just for very specific ones. And it's not even consistent, because some of the later missions don't have it either.
It seems Toa used some sort of
It's
device
so
to
weird.
impersonate
I
the
don't know
supreme
why they
god
did
of
it this
time.
way.
When Earth was
So she used a
destroyed
voice
in the
modulator?
correct history, Whis rewound time to restore it.
Yeah, we could just rewind time, by the way. But
Since
angels
the
can't
two of
interfere in
you
mortal
are
business, they
here,
can't
you
use angel
can't
power.
do that
But
now.
rewinding time, that's
History
totally
has
not an
been
angel power.
changed.
Don't worry about it. It's not like we retconned it in later when it was convenient for the plot. And then next time it's convenient for the plot, we're just gonna ignore it and pretend like it didn't happen. We're just gonna say, no, it's not angel power.
This time, Lord Beerus.
Which implies that rewinding time is a power anybody could
So
learn.
that is it.
Which
No
is
one tricks a god of
insane.
destruction. Where is this Toa woman? I'll
That
destroy her.
nothing
for
can
good.
ever happen as long as this character exists.
Sorry, but we're not exactly sure.
Herein lies my problem with
They are
Beerus and Whis,
trying to
is
change history.
they never do
So
anything,
if we fix those changes,
but also if they did ever
might show
interfere,
up.
they do too much.
Maybe.
They're only problems. That's the
Whis?
underlying problem with these characters, is whether you like them or not, personality-wise, I feel like they're only a hindrance to the actual story, because nothing can happen as long as they're around.
Understood. At once, my lord.
Whether or not they're stronger than Beerus at this point is kind of irrelevant,
We shall return to the true timeline.
because we still exist, and Whis is still absolutely stronger than everybody. And if he can rewind time, and that doesn't count as angel interference, then he can do that whenever. He clearly doesn't care that it's specifically for
I
Earth
shall
either, because he doesn't
begin
hear.
Rewinding time.
You only have a moment.
So it's not like I choose not to do it because I don't care what happens to mortal business, because clearly he does. It's just too many logical problems that it just amounts to so much that the only way I can think of to solve it is to get rid of it. Also, the plan failed. He doesn't try it again for some reason, even though he absolutely could. Like, nothing is stopping him from just trying again. He can just keep doing it. Now, admittedly, again, that's a problem in the game version, not the movie. The movie, he just dies. So, hey. I know why, so you can have the fight in-game, so you can see the time-breaker versions of them, but it is weird.
You're the best.
Also, hang on a second, we need a minute.
Be getting another try at that little trick.
There is like a switch you can flick in the patcher to where you stay transformed in cutscenes, which, while I like it, it's really weird in those, like, downtime scenes. It's great for fighting, for moments where you're fighting, but not so much for any of the others. Also, I've never tried it with a giant Namekian, and I'm really curious to see what happens, so I might do that once. I'll record it and upload it, just so everybody else can see what happens. I'm assuming it's either going to not work for that specific transformation, or it's just going to crash. I don't see it
Their
working.
methods are force, but they're
I burned up
much
so
stronger
much
than
stamina
before.
on him.
Even Goku and Vegeta in their current state have a hard time.
I'm very curious to see whether or not that
I
works.
guess so.
Come back here.
Gonna help them.
A fight is a fight, and this one isn't mine to butt in.
Even though you and Whis just butt in to rewind time in the first place, but whatever. Again, I'm so sorry for being this negative about it. It's just bad. I want to finish him in a fancy way. Get him. Oh, but he took my kill. That was mine. That's surprising. This took almost 20 minutes. This is a lot longer than I was expecting. This story segment is not short. It's not long, I'm sorry. It's pretty short.
Thanks.
Goku, you okay there, man?
Really helped out there.
He looks... I think it's the shading. It looked like he had a giant... Oh, no, he does.
I'm guessing you're some random friend
That's...
of Bulma's.
That looks weird. I do not remember him looking like that.
Come on. There's
Now,
no need
admittedly,
to
I haven't
cry.
watched these
We should
cutscenes
be
in a
grateful.
very long time. I usually just skip them because I've played through this a bunch.
I don't
That-
know.
that looks
For some
off.
reason,
Is
this
that just
doesn't
me?
Feel like the first time you've given me a hand. Anyway, if you
Revamp is
ever
great,
need
but
help
it,
with something,
You can
Some of the
always count on
shading
me.
and model work does not work well in cutscenes. In an actual game, it's fantastic. Some of the cutscenes do look a little wonky, I won't deny that. Overall, I think Resurrection F, among movies, is the absolute worst. Among Dragon Ball, there's one thing I think is worse. I know
That
most
was
people
a
aren't going to
real
agree. There's going to be a
mess,
chunk of people who
wasn't it?
don't agree with me on
I'm
that.
glad it all worked out in the end.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit everything
Did
into
not work out
when
at
we're
all.
doing that saga,
Toa never
though.
showed up, did she?
It's the longest one, and I don't think it's enough time for me to talk about everything.
This is so annoying. I really
Oh, there's
need a
also
bit
the
of
parallel
stress
quest.
relief.
It's a DLC one, so we're not gonna get that during the main story. That's gonna be after. That's gonna be after the main story stuff.
Would you mind if I destroyed this
I'm not.
place?
I'm gonna try my best.
Please don't do that. Listen.
I'll try to
Toki
fit
just
everything
finally
in.
laid the egg. You can't go and
And I'm
disturb it
sorry,
now.
it's
You'll
that.
ruin everything.
Anything that takes place in that era,
Well,
it's
you
gonna be all
certainly
negatives.
have a way with words, don't you?
that's the one where I can't give it a
Really?
positive.
Toki just laid
Resurrection
an
F is
egg?
I'm trying,
That's
I just
cause
can't
for
think of any.
celebration.
That one I know for a certainty. There are none.
Lord Beerus, you are aware that I will not stand aside.
We're
and
gonna
let
get to
the
it when we
egg
get
be
to it.
Destroyed, correct?
Also, Whis actually doing something.
If you are in need of
That's
stress
very
relief,
rare.
perhaps imprisoning the Elder Kai would help. What do you think?
Oh yeah, he did do that.
If that's what it
I always also look at that
go right
face.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I need that for. I'm taking that screenshot. That's for me.
Stop
I have
that!
ideas with this.
What are you saying? No one's going to allow that to happen.
I've already
sad.
got ideas brewing in
It
my
appears
mind
there's
over
little
what to do with
choice.
that specific shot of his face.
I will assist with your stress relief, if it pleases you,
so-
Lord Beerus.
Oh, it's been so long since we've
Resurrection
sparred.
F
This will be a treat.
is just not good.
And what about you? Interested?
The biggest
This is
gripe
a
with
rare
Resurrection F
training
is-
opportunity.
It's pointless. It is absolutely pointless. This movie didn't need to happen. Nothing
Really are trying to
really
turn our
happens.
star employee into the next god of destruction.
You could easily write Frieza out of the series. Save for the Broly movie, that's the only time I think he's actually a factor. For the sake of him being Frieza. Because in the Tournament of Power, you could easily just make that anybody. It could be anybody in that position.
There are tough battles yet to come,
It being
right?
specifically Frieza
Then the more
really
training,
doesn't
the
have a
better, I
merit.
would say.
Whis doesn't hand out offers.
The
to
Broly
fight
movie is
just
one of the
willy-nilly.
is like the only good thing in
You
Super.
better take
It's
him
gonna be
up
the
on
only
it.
time I'm ever positive. I'm so sorry again.
First, I should find a more
I'm going to
suitable
try to
location.
talk about positives
I
in
shall
Super,
summon you once it's adequately
but there's not going to
prepared.
be a lot. I really am. Usually, whenever they do a positive, it's immediately drowned out by negatives, so that's kind of the issue. For every good thing in Super, there's about 10 other bad things. Also, Gru's house has become more dangerous, and I couldn't care less. I'm very sorry for the overly negative tone in this video. There's really no other way to do that. We also just got a lot to do next time. Because there's another expert mission down there, right below us. And we have 2 more marks on the map. One's a parallel quest, one's just a fight. And we have the Resurrection F parallel quest, which... The quests themselves are kind of long. Not as bad as the late Buu Saga Battle of Gods ones, not that length. But the Battle of Gods ones are short, the Buu Saga ones are pretty long. They're kind of a grab bag. But the main thing is just, it's similar to the early Frieza Saga ones, where a lot of them are just fight a bunch of generic goobers, and then the actual fight is the ultimate finish. But we will get to that next time we do that. That's it for now. We're gonna continue on the I hate Resurrection F train next time, so see you there.